Krishna Manda, thank you very much that you accepted my invitation for this espresso. Maybe to start, how did you connect with sustainability? And coming from India, how did you connect with Austria?
First of all, thank you for inviting me for this nice conversation. And I was living in Mumbai around 25 years ago. And, Mumbai is such a huge mega city. So you see a lot of development at the same time, environmental degradation, social inequality, those things are existing, right? So I was asking myself, like, what kind of profession gives me fulfillment in life? And then I found sustainability is the direction I can take. But in those days, there were not many corporate roles with sustainability, and also not even academic programs throughout the whole world. But I did know that Europe is leading in environmental regulation and all those things. So I came for a master's in sustainability to Europe with the Erasmus scholarship. And then I was realizing as well, like, what kind of sector can actually impact the world the most. Then looking at the corporate sector, if you look at some big companies in the world, they are even bigger than the economies, like a country or even a few countries, right? And they serve few million to few billions of consumers per day, depending on the type of business, like consumer goods is like that, right? So that means these corporations have a huge leverage to change the course of not only the humanity, but also the planet. So that's where I started to think about how can I bring change in corporate world? So that's where I met Lenzing 15 years ago, helping them how to embed sustainability in different business functions. How do you make sustainability part of the product offerings and strategy? So that's how I met colleagues from Lenzing, and then our partnership fructified, and I started to become an employee and working there more than for a decade right now. Yeah.
So it seems like a dream came true, no? And so thinking of sustainability, thinking of trying to make an impact. No? So and does the role you have really permit you to make an impact?
I would say that it's actually very interesting role, because on one hand, many companies are actually using sustainability as a lip service, to be honest, and it's changing in the last 5 to 7 years. However, Lenzing has a very distinct way of doing things, because our business model itself is sustainability based. I can explain you more when we get a chance. So because of that nature, because we get raw materials from nature which are sustainable, like wood, right? But also the materials can go back, the fibers that we make are sustainable alternatives to the synthetics available in the world. And they can also go back to the nature, because they can be disposed with biodegradability, compostability easily in different environments, right? So sustainability has been central pillar of Lenzing's benefits in terms of value proposition to its customers. So that has given me a chance to really embed sustainability, not only in the strategy, but also in the innovation process and even operations to improve further. So all those things were possible because of the focus by Lenzing itself on sustainability as a strategic differentiation element in the market.
And even now when let's say the business comes under pressure, no? So you're still there, and the topic remains on the top level.
That's a really good question. It's a kind of if we can look at the current world, like, things have changed a lot in the last 1.5 years for different reasons, right? So I must say, of course, there are other aspects that became more important as well, because the competitiveness is getting more and more challenged with our competition in the Asia becoming more and more efficient, but also able to venture into innovation areas and those. That being said, we still believe that from the Lenzing point of view, sustainability is one of the most important differentiating elements in the market. So the focus is there, somewhat maybe challenging to keep it because others are offering products with not so sustainable basis, but they are cheaper, right? So I think that's the challenge that we are facing, but it also gives me another way to look at business as well. So I'm being intensely challenged to make sustainability that can create return on investment, that can make business value possible. So I and my team, actually, it's a team effort across the cross functions, and my team members, we all take it as a challenge and try to kind of even contribute more in this kind of environment.
And having said this, how do you see the discussion on this topic of sustainability in Europe, in Brussels, also about the question of regulation, tightening it, losing it. So how do you see this discussion?
So to be honest, we do need sustainability regulations because if we leave it to the general companies and the corporate world to do it, we haven't seen much progress in the last 20 years. Let's be very honest. Yeah, that means we need some kind of regulation, but we also don't want to have unchecked regulation because it needs to be balanced. So you need to set the rules, but also you need to enforce them and also create the kind of level playing field for sustainable alternatives, sustainable businesses, and the corporations that are actually improving the state of the world. But I don't think the regulations have found that right balance between rules and the other side, the incentives, the level playing field for sustainable businesses. I think if we can make progress there, then the market can be created for sustainable products in the world. Then you can actually scale and commercialize some of the sustainable innovations that are coming in the market. So I think it's all about the tightrope walking between finding the balance on the incentives and subsidies and those kind of things on one side, but creating rules and also addressing perverse incentives that are given to fossil fuel companies or synthetic materials. So there is a room to improve for sure. However, we do need effective regulation that can put sustainability forefront of our development.
And when you see it from the perspective of the emerging markets of India and many other markets, but you're coming from India, this perspective is especially relevant for you. But how do you see Europe in this topic? How important is it for Europe to lead competition here? Because there are voices who say it's exaggerated. We're losing markets. Others like it's the way we can really compete internationally. Now, how do you see it?
I think having grown in India and then moved here, so I think I spent half of my life here and half of my life in India. So I have a special relationship with emerging markets. Emerging markets move very fast, right? However, at the same time, Europe actually a robust economy, a mature economy. And so we need to find the strengths of this economy, but also see what we can learn from fast-moving economies, right? So I think the world can learn a lot from Europe. At the same time, Europe can also learn from other parts of the world because some countries are moving fast on digitalization. Some are even making strides on battery production, which we also don't have at the European level, right? So the next generation of technologies, next generation of entrepreneurship. So there are opportunities for Europe to learn. The only challenge is to keep the current development, and the middle class is one of the reasons I'm staying in Europe also. The middle class is so huge, which is actually a great thing to grow our kids and have the social security and those kind of things. So how do you keep those in a balanced way while making progress on the emerging issues and compete in the international market? that would be really, really the tough challenge that Europe is facing. Yes.
Krishna, we could go on and on and on. It's very interesting to talk with you about these topics. But time is gone. No, thank you very much for the conversation.
Thank you, Bernhard, for having me.
Thank you.